Enid Blyton and her out-of-body experience to heaven. I did see and grasp everything. Enid Mary Blyton, the 11th of August 1897 to the 28th of November 1968, was a British children's writer. She is noted for numerous series of books based on recurring characters and designed for different age groups. Her books have enjoyed huge success in many parts of the world and have sold over 600 million copies. One of Blyton's most widely known characters is Noddy. Intended for early years readers. However, her main work is the genre of young readers' novels, in which children have their own adventures with minimal adult help. Series of this type include The Famous Five, 21 novels, 1942 to 1963, and based on 4 children and their dog. The Find Outers, 15 novels, 1943 to 1961, where 5 children regularly outwit the local police. Each of these books is called The Mystery of something. The Secret Seven, 17 novels, 1949 to 1963, a society of 7 children who solve various mysteries. Her work involves children's adventure stories, mystery and fantasy, sometimes involving magic. But for children, always exciting. Her books were and still are enormously popular throughout the Commonwealth, and they have been translated into nearly 90 languages. Blyton's literary output was of an estimated 800 books over roughly 40 years. Background to her spiritual experience. One might think at first that a writer this prolific and with this much imagination would be classified under the heading of inspiration, and I have no doubt she received a great deal of inspiration. The very active roles she gave her female characters, who not only participated in all the adventures, but played key roles in the plot, was also revolutionary writing for its time. And she wrote to help girls see the choice they now had: passive, rather insipid Anne in The Famous Five versus brave, active and resourceful Georgina. In her own way, she was encouraging girls to continue the role they had found in World War II, where women practically ran the UK. The photo is of a woman codebreaker. So Mrs. Blyton was not just inspired, but wise and somewhat revolutionary. Only Beryl the Peril in the Topper comic exceeded her heroines in influence, although Beryl might have had more influence in helping girls fight against male dominance and patronising behaviour. Enid Blyton promoted male-female cooperation and kindness to animals, as did Beryl in her own unusual way. Until Blyton's books were banned after she died by those attempting to squash this new female role. Despite this attempt to halt women's breakout from the kitchen and drudgery, she is still one of the most borrowed authors from British libraries and still holds a fascination for readers old and young alike. And maybe the combination of Beryl the Peril and George or Georgina in the famous Five, along with new heroines like Hermione and Harry Potter, are stronger and brighter than the opposition. Barbara Stoney's biography. Until 1974, when Barbara Stoney first published her official biography, little was known about this most private author, even by members of her own family. The woman who emerged from Barbara Stoney's remarkable research was hard-working, complex, often difficult, and childlike. But the spiritual experience that created this author was entirely accidental and achieved at the dentist. She went completely out of body from the effects of the gas she was given. She had only the one experience on gas and told no one. But her biographer, Barbara Stoney, found a letter she had written about the experience and included it in her biography. Thus, knowledge of this absolutely momentous event, an event which appears to have had a great deal of influence on what and how Blyton wrote, only came to light 6 years after Enid Blyton's death. From Enid Blyton, a biography by Barbara Stoney. I have had gas many times, but only once did I ever experience presque vu. And then it was in one respect different from the things you report, in that instead of almost seeing, I did see and grasp everything. Or so I thought, and then lost it. This is what happened. I have never forgotten it, and its extraordinary clarity has always remained with me. I found myself, apparently bodiless, but still firmly myself, being drawn through space at a speed so great that I thought I must be going at the pace of light itself. I seemed to go through vibrating waves of light, and thought that I must be passing many suns and many universes. I love astronomy, hence my suppositions, I suppose. Finally, after a long, incredibly long journey and an incredibly short time, I arrived somewhere. This somewhere was, as far as I could make out in my dazed and amazed state, a place of wonderful light, not daylight or sunlight. And I saw or knew that there were beings there, no shape, nothing tangible, but I knew they were great and holy and ineffable. Then I knew I was going to hear the secret of everything. And everything was explained to me, simply and with the utmost lucidity. I was overjoyed, filled with wonder and delight. I knew the reasons behind existence, time, space, evil, goodness, pain, and I rejoiced and marvelled that no one had guessed such things before. Then I knew I must go back to my body, wherever it was, through all the long eras of time and vastness of space. And as I left in sorrow, my spirit cried out, or seemed to cry out, "Let me tell everyone this wonderful thing I know, this secret that explains everything, and I will bring such rejoicing and happiness." And as I went back down eons of time, I was told I must not divulge the secret. And I cried out, "Why?" And as I went, I was told why. And I said, "At least let me always remember." But no, I was not even to be allowed to remember even one small detail myself. And I cried out again, "But why may I not remember?" And then, just at the moment when I returned to my body, in the dentist's chair, I was told why I must not even keep the knowledge to myself. And it was such a logical and wonderful reason that I accepted it joyfully in the fullest understanding. And I found myself opening my eyes and smiling happily in the chair, completely overcome with what I thought had been a true and overwhelming revelation. This experience had nothing to do with religion. It wasn't a vision, only something amazingly produced by the gas. But I kept hold of my identity all the time and did not lose the reporter sense of the practice writer who instinctively retains all that is essential to her true news story. I have told only 2 or 3 people of this experience, as I did not think it sounded believable.